Okay, so we're going to be talking about German measles, which is also known as rubella. If you remember, when we talked about the regular measles that most people think of, that's called rubeola. German measles is known as rubella. So, let's get started. For the most part, rubella, German measles, rubella is much more mild than rubeola. Okay? Many times, people won't even bother getting treated for this, so many times it's undetected. So many times it goes undetected. All right, because it's such a mild disease. What's it look like? It's also a macular rash. I'm going to move this over here a little bit more. So, it is also a macular rash like rubeola measles was. Okay, a small red spots. Okay, so it's a macular rash with small red spots. Lots of times people will have a light fever. Actually, we don't call it a light fever. It's actually called a low grade fever. So in other words, just a small fever, nothing too bad. Okay, so the red spots and the fever are usually the signs that somebody may have rubella. Okay, how do people get this? Just like they get the regular measles. It is transmitted by the respiratory route. In other words, you get it from breathing it in. Okay, so like I said, you're going to get this through most people, not most people, this is how it's transmitted. You get it by the respiratory route, by breathing it in. Okay? So it can cause, let's move this over some more again. It can cause congenital rubella syndrome, which is an infection in the first 3 months of pregnancy. Okay, so what happens in this congenital rubella syndrome is it can cause deafness, which causes deafness, cataracts of the eye. This is a cloudiness in the eye of the lens. Okay, so in other words, it's hard for a kid to see. It can cause heart defects. I hate making the E's so big, but cause heart defects, mental retardation, because like we saw in Rubeola, the regular measles, it can get in the bloodstream and get to the brain, and then it causes inflammation, which can lead to brain damage. So there can be mental retardation and stillbirths. This is when a baby is born dead, or probably even a miscarriage. Now, you've been vaccinated for this. It's part of the MMR. It's the R is part of MMR vaccines. Okay, and we said this before. In an MMR, the M is measles, rubeola measles. The other M is mumps, like we saw before. And then the R is rubella, which is German measles. Okay? And the vaccine lasts for about